That's already eating another 30 cents of every dollar that comes in. That number is growing faster and faster, though, because as old debt gets refinanced at higher interest rates, the cost keeps going up. In fact, the Congressional Budget Office thinks that just the interest payments will be roughly $2.1 trillion by 2036. So we have entitlements and interest payments. Hold on, we're not done. There's also defense, which is another 20%. Can't cut that. And those three things alone, 70 plus 30 plus 20, that is 120% spent before the government funds anything most people can actually benefit from, like roads and schools and national parks, right? Kind of crazy to think about. Everything else the government does is funded completely on borrowed money every single year. And just the interest on the debt plus entitlements is already 100% of total federal receipts. So the money we pay to seniors and the interest on that debt, those two items alone are almost equal to everything the government makes in taxes. Which also means if tax revenues fall even a little, maybe because of a recession triggered by rising oil prices thanks to the war, or because AI, right, the white-collar workers who pay most of the income taxes get displaced, the government literally would not be able to cover its basic obligations without printing more money. And this is before anything potentially gets worse, which it could. That private credit market we talked about, that's a $3 trillion system. A huge chunk of the American economy, like small businesses and real estate developers and companies, they've been running on loans from those private credit funds, like Blackstone and Apollo and Blue Owl. And those loans are coming due in a time when interest rates are high and investors want their money back, which they're not getting. And when that credit dries up, businesses can't refinance, so they start cutting costs, they start laying people off, consumer spending drops, tax revenues fall, and when that happens, the whole system gets really stressed. Okay, so then the ultimate question is, what is the solution? What can the government do to get us out of this mess? And there is some good news. Maybe someday we'll get negative interest rates, right? Force liquidity and force the banks to lend money. Maybe some version of quantitative easing again. But here's what I think is the most interesting theory that I came across.